Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Legend of Korra. I know it's a couple hours late, and I promised I wouldn't do that, but I had stuff to do today, so I wasn't able to get my review up after the episode, but you got your review. So, episode 4 through 5, I will talk about the hour premieres we've been getting with Legend of Korra as the review goes on. But with this episode, we got 2 episodes. One episode where it really is just getting Kai out of imprisonment from the Earth Queen, and Earth Queen wanted to take over the Airbenders, and we get to see Tenzin and really the whole Avatar team be able to save the Airbenders, make their own decision. Do I want to go to the North Temple? Do I want to go with Korra? Do I want my own life? So that's the first episode, really getting out of a rough situation with the Earth Queen. And then the second episode, if you like Lin Bei Fong, you like Toph, you got your Earthbender stuff. We learn a little bit more about Lin. We learn about how Toph was as a mother, and who is the husband, who was the father. There's a couple of different fathers, so maybe we know a little bit more about Toph as an adult. We get to see that Lin and her sister are very isolated from each other. At least Lin doesn't really like her sister. But the new Airbender is Lin's sister's daughter. So she has to make a decision. Do I want to go to the temple? Korra is teaching her how to airbend. So Korra and the crew should be in this area for a little bit longer, depending on what decision the daughter ends up making. So that's the whole episode, and those are 2 episodes, really, off the bat. That's a short summary for both of them. So let's talk about the first episode, and then we'll get into the second episode. And also, let's talk about how this was an hour. Let's talk about that first. This was an hour premiere, and at first I was like, I don't like that it's an hour. They're just trying to rush the episodes. And I would love just every episode be an hour instead of these half-an-hour episodes, and we have to quicken the season. But the hour actually worked, I felt. The first episode for me was a little off. It was okay. And if that was just the episode, I think I would be a little disappointed. But then we got that second episode and like, whoa, love that episode. So it kind of changed the night for me, you know? So I really enjoyed that we had that hour block. Yes, we have to have less Legend of Korra. It's only for the summer. Maybe they could give us the episodes as an hour instead, because we know we have an older audience for Legend of Korra. I don't think they're going to change that, or maybe give us more episodes each book. That'd be great. But I do think the hour premieres for every Friday is actually smart, especially since they had their episodes leaked and they keep pushing in the commercials like, don't watch it online, watch it here. So they know their episodes are leaked, so they have to do something about that and really release these episodes quickly. So let's talk about the episode. What is that first episode about? And we talked about what it was about, and I thought it was good. I liked it. There's a lot of funny moments this season, which I really enjoy. There's some good Asami Korra moments. Their friendship is growing. Mako and Bolin, especially Mako, he was really pushed aside in these 2 episodes, which I don't really mind. Bolin, he's there for what he is. You know, he's a comedic relief. Thought they did a good job with that in this episode. Again, comedy, straight on, great this season. And I think that's what this first episode really was more about, was the comedy and trying to get out of a tough situation. They got themselves in a corner, and this episode is about fixing it and really continuing with the series. And I also have to mention another plot that was going on in the second episode, which I'll explain when I talk about the second episode. But yeah, so with the first one, it was cool. I don't like the Tenzin and Korra separating, but I think it shows how much of Korra is a stronger character now because she's able to separate, and people could tolerate that, because I know a lot of people just love Tenzin because he's a great character and he's the son of Aang, but it shows that all these stories could go at once and Korra doesn't need Tenzin anymore. So you could see her as a little bit of a stronger character. And then her going off to into episode 2, which I really loved. This was probably the best episode of the season so far. I know a lot of people in the fandom are Toph fans. I'm a Toph fan also. And to learn that she wasn't a great mother was actually really fun. A lot, you know, Aang wasn't the best father, we learned last season. Toph not being the best mother at all was really cool to see that, and maybe that's why the 2 sisters were so polarizing, because of Toph. And I thought it got into some really emotional things. And I thought it felt very adult-like, even though, again, it's a cartoon. It shows you how much adult this show is. And if you're a Toph fan, again, you just learn what happened. We still don't know who the fathers were, but she got around. You learned that about Toph. So if you wanted more about Toph, you learned it here. And I thought the family, just the Bei Fong family in general, was great this episode. They, at thought they laid it out perfectly. The new characters were fun. The edgy son, which made me crack up hysterically. I think Lynn's sister is really interesting. So that made the episode for me, was really the Beifong family. And that's something I wanted this week. Something to either give us something about Last Airbender or to progress the story a little bit more. Because I feel like they're, you know, the writers are trying to fix what they did in season 2. The characters were off. So they're making the characters more interesting. But in the first 3 episodes, the story was a little off. I mean, the story was good, but it was going a little slowly. And I think this, maybe the main story is not going as quick as possible with these villains, but, which I'll get to the villains. But the story of Korra exploring the world is really progressing, and if you are a Last Airbender fan, I think you're going to get more feels from this season than you would with season 1 and season 2. So I do enjoy that. I do think that the story needs to progress a little bit more about these villains. The main story needs to progress more, but the character development is doing a great job in season 3. So yeah, the villains. We get to see our main air villain. I'm trying to think of his name. It starts with a V. I can't think of his name right now, but our main air villain, who wants to kill Korra pretty much, joined Kai and Tenzin's children to try to become an airbender, and then they learn, oh no, this is the main villain, we gotta get him. And I actually knew it was him. Like, he shaved his head, I'm like, it has to be him. And I thought that was a really interesting way to do it. Making him into the airbender, trying to go into the airbender, shaving his head. And then we, you know, a lot of questions that people had in the first 3 episodes. How the hell did he learn how to airbend so quickly? They kind of explained it in this episode, so at least they did that. It's cool to see, you know, Tenzin's children. We get to see a little bit more of characters that we usually don't get to see, like, again, Tenzin's children. Jinora we got to see a lot more of, which I loved. I loved how Jinora used her powers in this episode. It wasn't more about the romance with that new airbender. It was more about her powers and how she's being used in the Avatar team. So I really loved Jinora this episode. So again, just characters that you don't really get to see were really utilized here. Asami a little bit more. So overall, love that second episode. If you're a top fan, it was a great episode. And the first episode was okay, but it really led it into a great second episode. So yeah, that's what my thoughts are. Tell me in the comments below what you thought about this week's Legend of Korra. Of course, I'll have a review for next week's Legend of Korra. And this is Comic Uno. And guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and Random Situations. And don't forget to like my Facebook page. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.